This is Mike from MPCstuff.com. We're going to show you today how to install the MPC 1000 XLCD screen, extra large LCD screen for the MPC 1000. Alright, so now you're going to see these are what's going to come in your box. You're going to have the XLCD screen, you're going to have the operating system along with the MPC samples, free sample kit that also comes with, and the instructions are all on this CD. If you don't get the optional card, you're going to have to take the operating system off the CD in your computer and then transfer it to a card or transfer it to your through USB to your MPC. So we're going to go ahead first and we're going to show you how to install the screen on the MPC 1000. Alright, first things first, we're going to take the bottom panel of our MPC off. I'm going to point at the screws that you're going to need to pull off. That way we can get the casing off and get to the LCD screen. We have one here. Notice over here you don't have to take the two out that are holding the side panels on each side, and you don't have to take these two out right here that are holding this. You're also going to notice on the front side here, these ones do have to be taken off just because we're also taking off the top casing, so take all these ones off of the bottom, whereas regularly you wouldn't when you're just trying to pull this back panel off, but we're going to be getting the front panel off soon. So we're going to go ahead and take all these out except for these two, and then the ones holding the panel on. Now that we have this bottom panel off, we're going to unhook the LCD ribbon. So as you can see here, we're just going to pull up the ribbon here and bend it this way so it's kind of out of the way. Now we're going to go ahead and take the casing off. What I do before I turn it over is take out this front little screw here that's holding this front panel on right now. So we're going to go ahead and pull out this screw to get that front panel off. Which will give us access to the rest of the screws, the two other screws that we have to get this front panel, or this top panel off rather. You're going to see them right here and here. So we're going to pull those two out along with 1, 2, and 3. Be careful, not all of them, but some of them will have a little washer behind this, so just make sure you save that washer and put it back in that spot when you're done. So now we're going to go ahead and pull the top casing off. Realize you're going to have to pull these guys off here. They just pull right off when you take off the casing. Now that you have your top casing off here, you're going to see there's two screws holding in the LCD screen. And it's kind of pivoted in there, so once you get these screws out, it'll flip up and then you can pull the LCD screen out. Make sure that ribbon in the back doesn't get caught on something. Remember, you have it coming out through the bottom. So just take these screws out and then pull the old LCD screen out. Now that we have our original LCD screen off, we're going to go ahead and put this part aside. We're going to take our top casing now that we had before, and we need to get the LCD window out because it's going to take, the new part's going to take place. So to get this LCD window out, you just need to apply pressure right here and here. Just be careful. It's going to pop itself out, but just be careful because sometimes they're heavily glued on here and you might end up breaking it. So another option would be to take an X-Acto knife and use the blade or some sort of straight edge around here and unglue the glue by cutting through it. So once we do that, we'll be able to push our LCD window out. Now that we have our LCD window out, we're ready to go ahead and install the XLCD. This is going to be the trickiest part of the install, even though it's not very hard. It's still going to be the hardest part of what we're doing. When we turn it around here, you're going to see there's two clips. The clips are going to need to center directly where you see this line here and this line here. Those are going to fit here and here. Now I'm going to show you with a close-up how these need to put on to get it inside of the casing. Okay, now that you have this lined up on the back side, we're going to start on the left side when we're looking at it. So you're going to come over here and you're going to use your screwdriver just to lift up on this tab a little bit, and then it'll pull over. And it's going to go right into there. And as you can see now, that tab pushes right there. You're then going to go on the other side, once you have this tab in, and bring that tab forward. Keep in mind you're still going to have to use your screwdriver to get underneath so you can pop it up, and then the tab will stick. Once you see both tabs are set like this, then you'll be able to turn the MPC around and this LCD screen will be right in. Now that we have the LCD screen in and we were able to get both these tabs pulled up, keep in mind sometimes if it seems a little hard, these tabs are made to bend a bit. So you're not gonna break it. That's the type of material that's used. So now that we have our tabs in, you can see you can't push it out. And now it's in. So now that we have it in there, we're gonna take our cords that we have here and work those back into the casing and hook it up so the LCD will start working. Alright, now that we have both tabs in, here and here, you'll see it's secure. Not coming off. With those two tabs, realize the material that this is made out of is made to bend a bit, so it might seem like you can't get it, but you might have to just put a screwdriver up underneath and push it forward. It's easier to go with this side first and then have this side go in. Once you have it in there, realize we do have a cut wire here. The reason for this is for people that want to port their MPC around and be able to take the LCD screen off easily enough. They can actually cut these off here, these tabs, so they can put the LCD back on and off if they want. And then they can use this to unhook it so they can store the LCD separately somewhere else. Now that we have this all done, we're going to put this back in the MPC. But the easiest way to put it back in the MPC is to take your ribbon apart here. Sorry about that. Now that the ribbon's apart, we're going to take this portion and put it in the back of the MPC first. So we're going to show you how we're going to do that now. Alright, now that we have our MPC turned upside down again, we're going to put this portion, the one with this connector here, back where the old LCD was. We're going to go ahead and place that in there and push this up above so it comes out on the other side where the LCD is. So now we have this sticking out right here and ready to put together. Remember when you're going to put it back together that the red line stays on the same side as the connector coming onto it. We're going to show you that now. Alright, now that we have this sticking through here and on the bottom of the unit, we have it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and make sure it's sticking through there, and then we're going to put our bottom panel back on. So we're going to take our bottom panel here, and we're going to put the screws back in the bottom panel. The only thing that you're going to realize is you're not going to want to put the bottom panel screws that are also holding this front panel in now, or this one here. So you're only going to do the ones around, but not the ones on the front, because that's what you're going to do at the end. Alright, now that we have the back plate back on, and we have this sticking out here, you can see I changed the pads as we're in here. I'm going to go ahead and put some white, thick, fat pads on here to make it feel better. And we're going to go ahead and put our casing back on. First thing about putting the casing back on, you're going to put it back here and then hook the connector. Make sure you have the red side of the wire to the red side of the wire on the connector and connect it. We're going to want to tuck it down a little bit in there and make sure you have it like that up underneath, and then we're going to go ahead and put our casing back on. So now we have the screen on, casing's back on. Now we're going to put back in the casing screws here, and the 3 on the back side of the MPC. We're going to go ahead and put our front panel back on. The front panel goes on with the 1 screw on the front, just like we showed before, and the remaining ones on the bottom. You're only want to tilt up like this when you put these screws in, because you don't want to put it completely flat, because you don't want to mess up the LCD screen. It'd be okay if you did, but I would suggest not putting it up on its flat side once you're doing that. So go ahead and put the front panel back on and secure the bottom things there, and then we'll go ahead and show you now how to install the operating system for it. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and install the new operating system to operate the LCD. So we have our card here loaded from the CD we copied onto a card. We're going to put it in here and turn on the MPC. You're going to see the old screen pop up here. And as you can see, only half is working, but we're going to install the new operating system. We're going to go to Mode, Load, and then you're going to find this MPC 1000 _ OS 128 ORG. And we're going to say, do it, and it's going to be loading the new operating system. Please note in our picture, it might look like the screen is flashing, but it's not. It just has to do the camera we're using. So now it's writing the flash ROM. And eventually here it's going to tell us to restart the MPC. So now we're going to switch the unit off. Now when we turn it back on, we're going to have the same screen you're going to see at the beginning because that's the way it loads. And then now it's going to load the OS 128 from MPCstuff. Now I'll kind of scan through. This is the free operating system that comes with. It's fully savable, fully functional. But if you need more items or more things to it, there is an optional JJOS 128XL, which can be purchased on the JJ website. But this one again comes free, along with the MPC sample kit. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you some of the screens here. As you can see, the grid edit has a complete large screen here. And record, you see waveform down here. Trim, program, mixer, sliders, load, save, and pad function. As you can see up here, one thing I didn't show you, and others, we can change the LCD to be reversed. So it's like this. Contrast is controlled just like the old JJOS. With holding the stop button and turning the data wheel. We can switch it back. We have the screen available in the white or the blue, and the screens are only available at MPCstuff.com and come with the JJOS to operate them.